So Amberian Dawn, with their new album, Darkness of Eternity. It came out...
Today.
Which is?
November 10th.
All right. That'll be yesterday, tomorrow. Whatever. Anyway. This album, which you'll know because it has Capri featured prominently on the cover, was musically entirely written by Thomas, I don't know how to pronounce his name, and then Capri wrote all the lyrics for it. And this is technically the 10th anniversary of the band's formation is when this album got released. Cool. So let's start right at the beginning with I'm the One.
I'm the One. Was it the one for you?
It's a good song, if that's what you mean. It's not my favorite song from this album. It's not my favorite song overall in the world, either. But this song is great. It's a great start of the album song. It starts with that sweet neoclassical lead, and
which makes sense because it goes along with the chorus
melody. With the chorus line, I am the one, please pick me. So I listened to the first Amberian Dawn album in 2008-ish when it came out, which was River of Tuani. And they've had like 3 different singers since then. I don't remember, but Capri is the current one, and she has a very interesting voice.
It's very musical theater.
Yes. Oh my gosh, very.
Because at first I'm like, it's somewhere in between classical and pop, and then it struck me at a certain point in the album. Yeah, it's musical theater. 110% Broadway. Okay,
so back to this song. So the drummer in this whole album, this song especially, loves juxtaposition of drum speed. Like in verse, he's like. It's almost like Lars wrote the drums. And then he goes... and then the rest of it's all written by, Lombardo or somebody. Yeah. It's just really, really... He loves switching from these really slow rhythms, these really fast kicks. And so this song...
that just reminds me of something I think this song needs, is after the neoclassical bit, then when the double kicks kick in, it needs a...
It needs a power metal beginning of the whole thing.
Usually I make fun of when every song starts with or whatever. I'm like, oh, haha, power metal. But this song needed it.
Well, this album I feel moves away from the power metal label. And
they were never power metal, were they?
Well, symphonic power metal is just like a genre that they kind of have. And so I would say to go back to this song. The midsection, which there's apparently this bass solo-y thing, which is kind of backwardly mixed.
It's a very quiet bass solo, but it's a bass solo.
If you watch the video, you can see him doing these taps, bass tapping sort of thing, and it's oh, that's unexpected.
Yeah, and the only time you can hear it is when literally every other instrument drops out for 2 bars, and then when they come back in, it's well, I can't hear that bass solo anymore.
Even though he's clearly still going on with it. And then there's this big keyboard solo-y thing, which I describe as very sort of Christmassy, because there's that glockenspiel, clinky.
This whole album is Christmassy.
Yes, this feels very winter, which is funny because it's kind of November, just pre-Christmas. Yeah. And it's like I said, this big epic chords and this plinky little things that are beautiful. But it's just this sort of very wintry sound. And then it becomes in the bridge section, when she sings in the bridge section, it's this big major choral thing that in my opinion doesn't really fit as well with the rest of it, but it's not the worst thing in the world. It's not like the sky is falling.
Sky is falling. Did it fall on you?
This song does fall rather harshly on the ears.
Strange.
It's so strange. Okay, so...
Yeah, we're talking about Christmassy in the last song. That wasn't even near as Christmassy as this biz.
So this is I said if ABBA was a Christmas symphonic band.
If ABBA was the Trans-Siberian Orchestra?
Whoa. And you know what's hilarious? And you'll love this. So Thomas, the sort of progressive neoclassical guy on the keyboards who writes all the music, he lists his influences as Ritchie Blackmore, Ronnie James Dio, Yngwie Malmsteen, and ABBA.
That's amazing. That actually is beautiful, and I can hear it in their music.
Oh yeah, this I don't know. I haven't, like I said, I listened to River of Tuani forever ago when I was young. When it first came out, I loved that album a lot. And then they had the songs in Rock Band, and I was like, sweet, I'm gonna play all these. And then I stopped listening to them for a while, and then I came back on this one. And so I don't know if there was there's a period there where they were experimenting with ABBA-y sounds. I just don't know.
Experimenting with ABBA.
But my gosh, this sounds like it's got the 4 on the floor drums, pop drums, and it's got the very sort of 80s synth keyboard that's
yeah. I noted that it sounds like a karaoke Christmas song.
Yeah, this is not metal.
No.
This is not metal at all. And it just struck me as really, really, like, sort of out of place and funny.
And, like, for being, like, from what I could understand of the lyrics, like, there's stuff about crying and the sky is falling and it's, like, sad, but the song sounds so chipper.
Yes, this whole album is a lot of, like, stuff that should be sad but is actually major.
I just don't think that they know how to write a sad-sounding song.
They do. Like, if you listen to their earlier stuff, they definitely do.
I guess.
And there's a lot on this album that is very sad. It's just when the ABBA stuff comes in, I kind of lose it because I can't take it as seriously. But, you know, it's whatever. I literally can't say too much about this because it's basically a pop song.
Yeah, there's no solo. It's got this little musical interlude instead of a solo.
Yeah, so I'm just going to move on to the next song, which is Dragonflies.
Dragonflies. What do you think?
Okay. I would have said it doesn't fly over my head. No. This song is interesting. So
there's a lot of parts to this song.
So I would say this is I'm going to throw this word and someone's going to call me out really bad on it. This is the proggiest song on their album here, and it is entirely the antithesis to the song that comes before it and after it. Like, this is sandwiched by simpler, poppier songs, I think specifically because it's much more complex than anything else on the album. So the main riff is this really sort of fast, like these sort of like neoclassical scales, like, and then like the verse riff is just sort of like really just trim picked muted guitar, you know, classic, just straight up metal. Like, that's just straight up classic metal, and I really, really liked it. Then it switches into this harmonic minor pre-chorus chords, and really gets this sort of interesting musical thing going.
Yeah, and like I mentioned in a previous video, the drum vamp that just ka, and this one actually does it building up to a chorus that actually like pays off.
This chorus is dynamite. It's huge. It has like a key change in the middle of it.
And it's really interesting melodically.
Yes, it switches from minor to major in different parts of it. And it has like Fly With Me My Dragonflies. I believe they're taking on an evil queen in the story. And this chorus, it just progressively climbs like 2 different scales, I guess. And it's just this big, powerful epic, you know, there's the chorus around her. Like, there's a chorus in the chorus, providing her like this vocal support for her.
Which is like in every song. This background choir.
Of course, she supports herself with layers and whatnot, and it's all like this really, really beautiful, wonderful, powerful piece. And it's awesome, and the chorus guitar is this like sweet like trim picking sort of business, and it's awesome. This chorus is one of the best pieces of music on this whole album. It's just full of so much energy and power. And like I said, it's the complete antithesis of The Sky is Falling, in my opinion. Then it's just suddenly, there's the solo, and then the whole song gets weird.
Well, I was going to say, the solo itself is kind of weird. I thought it had a very odd tone, and that it was just kind of a boring solo.
Really? It had some, like, shreddy business going on.
I don't know. Like, especially in comparison with some of the later solos on this album.
I will say, the tone is very bloopy. It's
kind of
very
muted.
Round. It's round and muted. It's 100% muted. I will agree. But then the fact is, it's followed by this huge string section, and there's this big orchestration.
Yeah, I love that part after where it's like this huge build up with these powerful orchestral moments.
Yeah, it was this epic doomy bridge, and there were like church bells and things.
And then there's the horror movie violence. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, it was super strange. I said that the second half of this song, before it returns to the verse chorus structure, is the soundtrack of some big fantasy movie, and that's just interspersed into Dragonflies, which is the story of like her taking on this evil queen, right? So it's just, and there's this like soft growing tension vocal. There's these like guitar chuggy business, and then there's a crazy like drum fills alternate, and then there's like this mini thrash section that's just
well, this is like you forgot where it stops completely.
Oh yeah.
So like the slowdown section where she's like melodically singing, and then it just kind of stops. Yeah, and then there's this weirdly kind of thrashy riff. And then the Slayer beat,
and then suddenly out of nowhere, blast beats. But like...
really quiet blast beats.
Really quiet, melodic... Like, the phrase melodic blast beat should never exist. But it kind of does here. Cause
it's the softest blast beats I've ever heard.
Yeah, they're so gentle and musical. And then, like I said, it goes into this sort of outro movie soundtrack.
And then the horror violins again.
Yeah. This
really soft blast beats, and then...
And then it goes back and does that epic, powerful chorus one last time.
Yeah.
And all in all, this song is huge. It's the longest song on the album at 5 minutes and 42 seconds.
Yeah. And it feels way longer.
Yeah, this song feels about
if
like
I weren't to
about
look,
an 8-minute epic.
Exactly. If I weren't to look at the time, I'd be like, that song was 8 minutes, right? It's like, no, it was under 6.
The thing is, this song actually accomplishes what a lot of 8 to 10 minute songs can't accomplish in half the time.
Yeah.
And
it was a very efficient song.
And I really appreciate it for that. Like, this song is huge. This song is big, and it's very, very good. So when you ask yourself, can I keep this up for the rest of the album? The answer is maybe.
Maybe. Would you say maybe to the song?
So jokingly, I would say absolutely yes to this song. But as a fan of metal, as a fan of symphonic metal, as a fan
of music that is good.
Okay, yeah, that's too far. So this is an 80s dance jam.
And the intro sounds exactly like Careless Whisper.
Well, kind of. It goes da-na-na, 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 ba-na-na. Yeah, they very much fit together. This song is an 80s power pop ballad disguised as a symphonic metal song. It's not even very well disguised.
Yeah. It's 80s dance music with some...
Yeah, so, like I said, once again, you can tell the ABBA influences a little bit. So, there's this guitar lead, which I really like that guitar lead, but my problem is it should be an 80s saxophone solo so hard.
It wants to be that.
Oh, gosh, it would be so good if it was that. I hope someone out there does a sweet sax cover of this, I would post it on the channel. I would, display it, because that's so good. And the guitar is doing this dum thing where it's just playing either that or eighth notes, just do like the 80s.
It wasn't really anything notable.
Yeah, like I said, the guitar is really not doing very much in this. The drum tone, even at one point he does a downward fill. It's like, yeah, I'm like, is Phil Collins here? It's just like Coming in the Air Tonight. It was totally like that, and then the song fades out on that guitar solo.
It's got a lazy fade out, and I don't even I'm not a big fan of that lead anyway. Because and at this point in the song, I was thinking it was gonna have an actual solo when it was really just
to kind of even it out. Here's
and
actually
then,
something.
it was just this lead on a lazy fade out, and I'm like, ah. And speaking of the words of this song,
the light of purple hearts.
The chorus
broken hearts
has about 8,000 words in it, and then
I would say that's a problem she has generally.
Yeah, but this chorus is the wordiest. And they repeat the chorus twice every time. The chorus repeats twice every time, and we've listened to this song at least twice, 3 times now, and I can't remember a single line from the chorus because there are just too many fucking words.
Yeah, I can only remember let the purple light shine on us of broken hearts, and something about you lie, and it's just we're lying. You lie, and it's just we're part of the stars or something. Yeah. And it really made no sense to me. Oh, and they misspell a word in the lyric video.
Yeah.
Intention. It's spelled intention.
Yeah. So if Napalm people, if you're watching this, you should probably fix that.
Yeah. But all in all, this is, like I said, once again, this is just another poppy sort of song, which for a guy who can write neoclassical metal and progressive stuff, because he wants to have that ABBA stuff. I almost said ABBA.
Why?
Gosh, I would love some ABBA in this. Listen. This song, for me, isn't worth very much, and it's definitely not worth as much as a pile of gold coins.
Golden coins. Would you give it some coins?
I would. This song is pretty cool, actually.
I like this song a lot.
Yeah. So especially maybe it helps that maybe came before it to juxtapose. But now that I've listened to it a bunch of times, so Golden Coin starts with this big sort of orchestral intro, which is also what the chorus is.
Yeah. Also, it's just the chorus riff.
Yeah. But instead of the singer singing it, the keyboardist is getting this sort of large organ sound to play it instead, and it's really powerful, and the guitars are getting into it, and it's really the drum is doing a sort of what kind of drum beat is that even? It's
Slayer beat?
Yeah, Slayer beat, basically. Really straightforward.
Except for slower.
And it's just this driving sort of you're this is going to be some symphonic metal that I want it to be.
And then it kind of steps back for the verse.
It has what I would call...
It's got... No, to me it almost felt like a weird key change. It just...
Yeah, it goes...
Yeah, she started on a weird, note of the scale, which I think actually what was the case, because... It'd be weird to suddenly shift keys for the verse, but
it's interesting. The verse guitar has this sort of like chugs thing going on where it's like.
Well, and then there's like this muted.
Yeah, like there's like the keyboard's definitely getting some scaly work, and then as they go into the pre-chorus, the guitars and the keyboard get this sort of neoclassical climb thing going on. It's really cool, and I just appreciated all those sounds actually working together.
Yeah, and it doesn't, like, I would say it doesn't fall victim to a lot of symphonic metal that I've heard has this problem of, like, in the verse, there's just, instrumentally, there's just nothing going on.
And it's just,
and it's like, just drums and just some, like, whatever. And the person's like, yeah, whatever. And it's,
whatever.
And, like, it's usually really boring until you get to the powerful chorus. And I appreciate this song, particularly, doesn't have that issue.
This song has a lot of energy, which is why I really like it. When it goes into the chorus finally, and it's this sort of like swinging, golden coins will free us, living on a prayer.
Yep. Anyway, no, this chorus I think is very singable. Like it's. I think it's one of the best choruses on this album.
I 100% think it is,
if
absolutely.
not the best. Like it's not overly wordy.
Yes.
Good. B, it's got a melody that's not like. That's not sung entirely by the background choir, because sometimes half of the chorus is sung by the background choir. Like, no, it's just all sung by her, and it's not got crazy high notes or anything weird. Like, this is a very singable chorus.
Yes, everyone can sing this, and it's kind of got this sort of, I would say, almost a meta, where it says, like, your golden coins will free us, you'll pay to see us, the carnival is here in town, or whatever.
And it's definitely, I suspect, in addition to being, like, a story, it's, like, a little bit of a commentary of, like, oh, music is commodified now.
I don't know about that, because I just couldn't hear enough words.
It could be a commentary on that. Maybe not.
But anyway, then the bridge is like this super reverby, I would say it was, at first it was almost overlayered in the vocal. Like, that chorus was there, and it was, like, very obviously her doing the chorus and herself, and it's just very, very sort of, like, echoey, like we're in, like, a church or something. Yeah. And it was just really sort of, I don't know, it felt overproduced to me. But that's almost, like I said, it doesn't really matter, because the vocal in the chorus is so awesome and triumphant and amazing that you just you can't get over it. Like this song, this will be someone's favorite song. It easily could be yours. I don't know, but this absolutely, it's relatively simple, because, like I said, it's got the intro, which is just the chorus. So it goes chorus, video, verse, then simple bridge. The drums aren't going crazy. They're getting double kicks in there, but they're not getting crazy. So in the end, it's just a good song. Like, this is good symphonic power metal, like it should be. And that's all I can say.
I agree.
The next song is Luna, My Darling.
Luna, My Darling. How'd you feel?
That's not my name. Anyway, no.
It is now.
So it starts with this big, organy, keyboardy, synthy, like, really powerful, spooky, awesome, like, orchestral intro that really amps you up for this big, epic sort of, like, I don't know how I'm describing it, but it amps you up for a really tense song that's like a battle of fates.
Yeah. And then the verse is kind of just like, you know how I said in the last song how it didn't have the symphonic metal problem. This one does.
Really?
I'd say. Because it's just a sustain underneath the...
I don't know. I liked it because the verse is like... Da, 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 da,
well, I feel like it should have done that for maybe the first half of the verse, and then jump into, and then, like, put some more drums in it for the second half of the verse or something. Like, that part just went on too long.
See, my problem is I like the slow build. The problem is the pre-chorus is where all of the energy is lost, because it goes back to that 80s thing again, which is like...
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I hated that too.
And it's like, what is this?
Well, because the thing is, it does bring the drums in instead of just, like sustaining, but then it brings them in with just the...
And it's got that soft...
It's like, what is this?
It brings it... But then like I said, the chorus... It brings it all back.
Yeah.
It's so energized, and it's metal, and
no, the chorus of the song is solid.
There's lots of like technical drum skill. There's like the big power chords. There's just the chorus here is so much better than the pre-chorus. Like, if I could cut the pre-chorus out of this song would be an excellent song. Mm-hmm. But the pre-chorus literally ruins the feel of the song.
Yeah, like this song has got potential. I personally, if I were like a producer, I would edit the fudge out of it. But like,
well, yeah, the chorus is really
good, and like half of the verse is good.
I
in my
like the whole
opinion.
verse.
But if I could, like, amp up the verse a little bit more and then delete the pre-chorus entirely.
See, I think after Golden Coins, they wanted something more slow and epic, but they took the slow, and they took the epic, and then they added just a little bit of, like, 80s power pop in there. And you're
because
like,
that's what your symphonic metal needs, is 80s pop music.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not us. But if you like it, and if you think it adds, then that's great. But
if you like this genre of 80s dance symphonic metal...
80s dance symphonic metal.
That's what this is.
There's too many metal genres these days. No, but the one thing that I thought was really good was the guitar solo in the song. This one actually had great tone.
No, this solo is nice.
It has like a whole lot of like scale work, and it's got sweet picking, which is
anytime you include sweet picking, you know it's gonna be a good solo.
No, it's too short, considering we have to go back to the power pop like pre-chorus after this shortly. But this is an example of where the guitar work is really sound on this album and doesn't have a weird tone.
Yeah, there was a weird, like, right before the solo, there was, like, this synth lead that was kind of strange. And, like, at first I'm like, oh god, is there going to be, like, some sort of synth board solo? And then when it switched into the actual guitar solo, I'm like, okay, thank you.
No, it's really fantastic. And like I said, I love all of this song except the pre-chorus. And I said, this one thing I would edit out of the whole thing to make this song go from not that great to just one of the best songs on the album, I think.
Another problem this song has, which actually a lot of, like, basically every song that has a guitar solo on this album has the problem of, like, when the guitar solo comes in, like, the instrumentation underneath is just doing nothing. Like,
it's filling the sonic space.
It feels like, during the guitar solos, it almost feels like they're a three-piece band. Like, you can barely tell, there's, like, barely any rhythm guitar happening. And like,
the bass
is
mixed
kind of quiet.
is mixed quite quiet the whole album.
That's the problem under the guitar solo is that the bass is mixed really quiet, and the rhythm guitar is usually just going.
And a lot of the keyboard is providing a lot of atmosphere.
And there's no keyboards in the
it's
underneath
providing
the
guitar.
So that's the problem is that like a lot of the guitar solos don't have any keyboards underneath, so then it just sounds like
the guitar solo is sitting in the abyss.
Yes. Abyss. Did you want to throw it into one?
No, but I didn't want to lift it out of one either. So this song is the shortest song on the album. Mm-hmm. And it's at about 3 minutes, 26 seconds. And that's because it cuts out anything that would have made it more interesting.
Yeah. It had a lot of energy.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. This song isn't a bad song. Mm-hmm. This song is a straightforward song. This song is intro, verse, chorus, solo, out, chorus. It literally is like, it's the setup, it's the delivery, it's just the most straightforward song. And I wonder if everyone else in the band was like, can we have one song that's just a song? And, it's just, so it starts off very power metal. Mm-hmm. It's got this awesome lead and everyone's like going hard.
It stays really power metal for a while.
Yeah, well, I mean, this song has a lot of energy except in the pre-chorus. But the problem is, the pre-choruses that in this band always, and in symphonic metal generally, I would say, lose a lot of energy because they're just getting sort of like melodic, soft, gentle things.
There's an art, like, there are two types of pre-chorus. There's the pre-chorus where it takes a step up from the verse before the chorus, and then there's the pre-chorus that takes a step down.
So that step up can be bigger.
More dramatic. But I feel like that's a harder...
people stumble in the ditch more than they use it to climb higher.
I feel like it's an advanced maneuver to...
And
try the low energy pre-chorus.
And I feel like in this one, in this song, it's purely functional. It doesn't add to the song. It doesn't subtract from it. It's purely functional. Like, I don't mean to be mean. This song is good. Like, it has this
song's alright.
Like, well, in the verse, it's got this sort of like
that is one thing. The verse has an interesting like riff rhythm.
Yeah, it's got this like orchestral like stop start.
And the way she's singing against it is kind of like that. That is interesting. Yeah.
And I would say that's one of the most interesting musical aspects of this whole album. Mm-hmm. Even though, like I said, it's in this song. It's the most interesting part of this whole song. Because the chorus is this really, really super positive with like driving trim picks and kicks, and it's super symphonic power metal, and it's exactly what symphonic power metal should be. And it's, like I said, this song is just a functional workhorse of a song.
Yeah, and I would say, like, they tried to catch attention a little bit with the solo. Like, because the solo started out with some weird timing thing. Mm-hmm. I'm not really sure what happened there, but every time my ear just kind of went, what?
But then it goes, and then it sings for a little bit. The solo gets this sort of slow, sort of like, it plays a beautiful sort of melodic rhythm, and then it goes back into the stuff, and it's playing, like I said, some super shreddy, super like sweepy, like really fast sort of stuff, but it's kind of cacophonous, I feel.
Yeah.
But that, like I said, that's really interesting and fun and good, and the orchestral stop-start part of the verse is really fun and good, but the rest of the song, like I said, is purely functional, solid symphonic power metal, and there's not much you can say about that.
Yeah, it's middling.
Yep, so the next song is Ghost Woman.
Ghost Woman.
There's not even like a pun we can make out of this.
Yeah, there's...
Ghost Woman is just a weird word. So this song starts with almost like, I described it as like Nintendo-y sounds, like sort of NES sort of chiptune-y sort of.
Yeah, the lead is very peppy and like...
It's very electronic sounding to me. I don't know if it's the keyboard or the guitar.
I think that was like, we'll talk about it more over time, I guess, but that's a problem with the album as a whole, is that the guitar tone is very electronic-y sounding, and that the keyboard tone and the guitar tone are like too similar. Yeah, and that it's like, is the keyboard playing or is the guitar playing? I literally can't tell.
Yeah, so it's funny that I said Nintendo-y, because it immediately goes into this verse which has this incredibly Asian, Japanese, Chinese musical sort of tone. It's got a very sort of like xylophone-y, very plinky sort of. It's using, I believe, some sort of Asian scale. It's just
think of any generic Asian music, and that's what's in the background,
like from Mulan or something.
For some reason, yeah.
Like, and it's. I mean, don't get me wrong. It's really interesting and fun. And
no, I was gonna say, speaking of Mulan, this song is the first of several that sounds like it's straight out of a musical.
Yeah, all like this song on the last 3 songs on the album are all from different musicals.
Yeah, this one is from it very much made me think of Mulan, like some of a character going on some kind of journey to,
because the song is about a woman who lives by the mountainside, and she looks into the river to ask what her future is, like where should she go in her life, and she's crying into the water. And
I think maybe it might be based on some kind of folktale. At least that's what it feels like.
A lot of their stuff is, and so you have to ask Capri, which, Capri, if you ever see this, you should tell us where you came up with these lyrics. Anyway, this song is... Oh, I said overwhelmingly before, but this song is overwhelmingly major. For a song about a woman crying into the water about how she can't, like, see her future or anything, like, she says, like, I will pay any price you ask, I will pay. And she's, like, singing in this big major scale. It's super happy.
And it's kind of, like, almost, the chorus is almost childish, and it's, like, so she sings a line, and then the, like,
there's
chorus,
a call and response.
Yeah, there's call and response between her and between the, like, choir. And which is interesting, and that's what makes it feel even more musically to me, because I can just picture the leading lady, like, standing there, describing her woes, and then there's, like, the 4 or 5 girls behind her who are, like, her backup choir, Yes, absolutely. And she says, like, oh, beautiful river, or something like that, please, like, show me, like, what direction to go. Mm-hmm. And it's really weird about this woman. And they mention multiple times how she's crying and downtrodden and awful. And this song is the most major song on the album. Yeah. Like, here's the thing is it super, like, catchy? Absolutely. Is it really, like, it sticks in your brain? Like, I said it sounds like video game music almost to me, because it's just so, like, bumping. I can't describe it very well. It's like if a Disney musical were a video game.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of if they made Mulan video games, what it would sound like. So it has a solo that has this relatively, I say simple, but I mean is it's got this basic sort of scaly up and down intro to the solo.
There's some wah in it?
Yeah, and then like the solo itself has this weird sort of like bendy, trimmy, wah-y, noisy strangeness. Like the solo has techniques that aren't used anywhere else on the album, and it's really strange.
It's kind of an out-of-place solo.
Yeah, and it definitely didn't match the Asian theme at all. And maybe we're the only ones seeing the Asian theme, but it definitely sounds like that.
It's there. And
then it goes into this, like, shreddiness, and just, all in all, Ghost Woman is just a very confused song to me.
Yeah. It's...
And like I said, you won't be bored listening to it, and it certainly has tons of energy to amp you up.
You don't have to be confused listening to it.
And I think it makes a really...
I'm confused, but I'm excited!
But the next song slows down a lot so you can breathe again.
Mm-hmm. Breathe Again. Was it a breath of fresh air?
It was, definitely. So this, gosh, like this song, like if Ghost Woman was the song where she was asking for direction, this is the one where she figured out, like she says, like, can I see where I'm going to?
I feel like this one's still kind of unsure. This is the one where she's decided a path, but she's not sure it's the right path.
Yes, so this is the first song / only song. No, it's not, because I guess the next one too. But it has this genuine sort of like, it's almost like he's playing a real piano instead of like a synth piano.
I loved the intro of this. It's piano and strings, and I'm like, wow, this is different.
It feels really, and that's why I said these next two songs especially sound like they're from like a musical, because they sound like orchestral instruments and a single person on a stage with a microphone. And so it sounds like, and it has these beautiful genuine piano scales, and the vocal is very forwardly mixed. It's I say dry because no symphonic vocal is dry. It's full of reverb and everything, but it's relatively sort of clean and right there mixed forward. There are these sort of ghost going on underneath it, but It starts off with this very sort of gentle, like lilting, talky sing, but when the chorus comes in, it gets these climbing.
When I know what I'm going through,
it has these really like, great building.
Yeah,
it's sorry.
No, it's a very like you can imagine like during this song and the next one, I totally am just picturing this on stage, like her standing there with like a single spotlight, like looking off into the distance and going like, "Where am I going? Where am I from?" Like,
yeah, and it's really good. It's really interesting because at about 2 minutes in, there are finally some guitars in the song.
Yeah, well,
and the song
is a metal song.
It's weird because the song becomes really like minor, because the whole early part is very sort of major and like triumphant, and I'm going to make it through the end of the day. And this is very minor. It's much more guitar driven.
And then it's the kind of the part where she's like doubting herself. That's what I gathered from it, like thematically.
Yeah, like I said, it's very guitar driven. The bridge gets kind of this sort of like offbeaty, kind of groovy feel going on to it, and then but at the end, the drum like really just goes all in. Whereas previously it was kind of more poppy, that same sort of slow drum thing going on. Here the drum gets to like really tear it all out.
Yeah, and towards the end, like the vocals go up an octave, and then the double kicks kick in.
Yeah,
and like
it's really epic. It's big. You can feel the Amberian Dawn breaking over the whole thing. No, but really, this song is full of almost like refreshing energy to get you through the last song on the album.
Yeah.
But it's really interesting how it ends.
It comes full circle back to the piano and strings.
Well, it's almost like a music boxy tone is how I described it.
Yeah, I can see that. But it's still a piano-y.
Yes, and it's just... Well, the thing is, I feel like this leads into the next song very well. Because it's this sort of gentle, almost creepy, I would say, sort of soft, tingling sort of tone that goes down, and I can't make a pun off the next song's name because it's so long. Yeah. Symphony number 1, part 2, Darkness of Eternity.
I hear the gasp of dying light and feel the coldness.
Did this make you feel the darkness of eternity?
I guess. Okay, so this song, it starts, the intro kind of, in my opinion, has nothing to do with the song. What it sounds like to me is, it sounds like an orchestra getting in tune.
Yeah, it is just kind of ambient orchestral
the piano
sounds.
does these scales to like show them the proper notes to play and everything. It's just sort of an ambient off-keyness. Because it goes kind of... It's kind of ominous sounding, I would say.
Yeah, no, it definitely... There's some tension to it, and I like that.
Yes, and it really prepares you for the verse, which is this piano doing this really like intricate scale work that's really interesting and fun.
And it's very crisp and cold.
Oh
feeling.
yes, very cold. Like this is in like a marble church with nothing but one woman and then the way freezing to death.
Yeah, the way she's singing is very soft.
She's whispering almost.
Like very.
And it has
on
this
the tip
sort
of her tongue.
If you know, like I said, it's got that sort of bouncy sort of bouncy, creepy sort of feel. Like I said, Danny Elfman, the Fable soundtrack, Nightmare Before Christmas soundtrack. It's got this sort of like very sort of piano-driven, creepy musical feel. It feels like a musical.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because the chorus adds like big orchestral string sections that are...
And the chorus, I also noted, like, it's got some very unusual melodies in the chorus.
It's very haunting. It's creepy. The thing is, it wants you to go, oh, it's major. Oh, no, wait.
Yeah.
There's some darkness here.
Yeah, it definitely feels like...
Because it says, like, come dance with me and whatnot, and you're just like...
Come dance with me, 1, 2, 3.
And it's a waltz, basically, and it's so haunting and creepy and cold. You're like, I don't want to waltz with this person. They're gonna stab me or something. But, like, and use me in a dark ritual. It feels very magical to me.
No, and it kind of makes sense. There's a part 1 to this from one of their previous albums, and we suspect that there will be a third part on the next album, because this definitely feels like a middle.
The middle of the story.
It feels like this soft before the finale, you know?
Yes, but the
yeah, it did have a build in its own right.
Actually, what's interesting is this song had a bridge that was just these big, scary piano chords. It was like, and then there was strings and horns being like,
yeah, no, it builds all this power, and then I feel like it kind of just dissolves it and doesn't really build up to anything, because, like, so she comes in with this, and then underneath there's, like, this, like, marching snare beat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that sounds really great. It just needs to be, like, louder and more aggressive.
Yeah. Well, I think the point is, and then it goes back to the whispering thing to end it. And my point, and I think the whole thing is that she's like holds this insane, scary power, this main character, and then it's back to the whispery little smallness. It's the sort of hiding within this darkness. It's this the darkness of eternity is inside her. Yeah,
maybe like I see as probably like it's kind of teasing the next section, maybe.
Yeah, this is an awesome, like, orchestrally piece. This, like I said, it's like a musical number, and I would love if Amberian Dawn wrote a musical.
That would be cool.
It would undoubtedly be really cool, and this is one of my favorite songs. And speaking of favorite songs, I'm going to tell my top 3 now. So my number 1 was Dragonflies. It was just awesome. Like I said, it was the longest song, but that wasn't so bad. Like I said, the guitar riff itself was scaling and awesome. There was like a really, really cool, like, sort of like solo-y biz. There was outro, like it had that big epic movie sort of sound. It had the horror movie strings. It has this like big epic doomy bridge with like church bells and everything. And to me, everything about it was super awesome. And it had the chorus that went from the minor to major key changes, and it was building up. It was full of all the energy and all the symphonic power stuff that I love. And I thought it was amazing. My second one is Symphony No. 1 Part 2. Because, like I said, everything we just described, it's got this awesome build, it's truly creepy, it's strange, it's awesome, it's really satisfying. And my third favorite one was Golden Coins, because Golden Coins is so fun.
Yeah.
Golden Coins has so much energy, it's easy to sing, because it's got that nice chorus. It's definitely going to get the audience involved, I really feel. So what about you?
My 3 favorites, I have 2 of the same as you. Dragonflies and Golden Coins were 2 of my favorites. And then my other favorite was I'm the One.
Really?
I just thought it's holding the flag of symphonic metal, like it's very
please pick me
represents. And I love the neoclassical like lead there. Like the only thing that could have made it better if it had a like sweet neoclassical solo.
Yeah, it even had a bass solo in that song.
Yeah, that's all it needed was a guitar solo to make it like the best song on the album. Because I think Dragonfly is probably my number 1 as well.
All right, so what are your worst songs? I think we'll probably have the same worst songs.
Do I have to even say? Yeah, my. Do we have to do bottom 3 or just a worst one?
I'm going to say all 3. So I'll start with my third worst, which is Sky is Falling, which was the first ABBA style song on the album. It just was just not good. It wasn't very fun. It was kind of boring to me. Then the second... No, I'm sorry. That was my second worst. My third least worst is Ghost Woman, simply because it makes no sense to me. Yeah. It feels weird in the album, and I feel like it doesn't understand its own tone. The second one is Sky is Falling. And then the worst one is, of course, Maybe. Yeah. I don't even think we have to argue about that.
Yeah, no, I had the same bottom 2 as you, Sky is Falling and Maybe. And I'd say my third one, I understand Ghost Woman, but Luna, my darling, maybe
agree.
just because...
It also had the ABBA-y, like,
yeah, just the pre-chorus ruined it.
Yep, I 100% agree with you.
And, yeah, just all of this album had 3 different genres, I feel like. It had the standard, like, symphonic metal stuff, and then it had this, like, 80s dancey stuff, and then it had this epic musical stuff. And it's like trying to sew those 3 things together is really challenging, and I don't know if it did that successfully. At
best, you could probably get the symphonic and the musical stuff to work together.
Oh yeah, that works together.
The 80s stuff is the weird sort of thing trying to be wedged in there. And that's what I said, it was so funny when he listed some of his influence that I saw online. It was Richie Blackmore, Ronnie James Dio, Ingrid Malmsteen, and ABBA. I was like, that's the weird one, right? Just right in there.
Yeah. So, like, maybe he should have, like, a side project.
I think he does.
And, like, they could just stick with the metal and the, like, classical and the Broadway stuff.
Oh, I mean, as long as they're happy and making more albums, what can we say? So,
it's just, I suspect it's hard to like all of it.
Oh, yeah. No one will enjoy every single song on this album, I suspect. If you do, say so in the comments. Yeah. But I will say, did this song sell you on Amberian Dawn?
This album, you mean?
That's what I
said. Sorta. I don't know. I liked some of the stuff, but I wasn't, like, head over heels in love with any of it.
Like, will you go and listen to more, though?
I might listen, especially when they come out with the third part, I might go listen to the symphony parts all together.
I 100% agree. Kind of like the Unforgiven series, but if it were, like, a weird, dark musical. Okay, well, would you recommend this to other friends of yours?
Yeah. I have some friends who like symphonic metal. I might recommend it to them.
But would you warn them about the sort of 80s-y
No,
thing?
I wouldn't warn them.
You just were specific about
Because I'm a
listen to
bad
this.
friend.
Yep. This is really... Oh, maybe it was the first single. And that's what's so
For
weird to me.
some godforsaken reason. Like,
And I'm like, I get what you're saying. If you want to show off your ABBA influences, great, go for it. But that doesn't sound like anything else in the album except for The Sky is Falling.
it doesn't really represent the whole album that well. I would have thought I'm the One would be the
And it got a,
single.
it got a
was
music video.
Yeah, it's the only one with a music video.
No, I mean, technically there was like a lyric music video for well, also for Dragonflies.
Oh, yeah.
Where they were just singing it and it was putting the lyrics
Yeah,
next to
but-
them. But yeah, so,
If it were me, I would choose I'm the One to be the single.
so what do you rate this? Scale 1 to 10.
5?
I actually honestly would give this one a 6 because I really like the musical number he wants at the end. Like I quite like.
I liked them. I just didn't feel like they fit.
Like my top 3, I honestly really thoroughly enjoy them, and so I honestly, like I said, I'm gonna go back and listen to more because, like I said, I love the first album like a lot, and I like this album well enough, minus the certain tracks, and so I'm definitely gonna go back and listen to the rest of it
Okay.
because that's just me. So yeah, I thought this album was good.
It's okay.
It was good, but it wasn't great. All right, everyone's a critic, including us.